Hello there, I am outside of this lovely home on Country Park, standing in the front circle driveway. It's well manicured. There's the garage. I got the measurements. I'm going to send you an email. It's a nice size actually for one car. My car for context. You can see those concrete tiles on the sloped portions of the roof. Stucco's in great shape. Paint is in good shape. The garage approach has a French drain sunk in the concrete there to divert water away. And the concrete appears to be new, much newer in the home, so probably an upgrade at some point in time. I was checking out the walls. I cannot with certainty tell if they're 2x4 or 2x6, but my inclination is 2x6. It has this thick stucco texturing on it, so that kind of throws me off a little bit as far as being able to figure it out versus like a new home type construction. You come to the house, this kind of cute little vestibule with the wrought iron gates here, the pebbles in the concrete adds a nice touch. You got some block, and they put these terracotta tiles for a little pizzazz there. This is where you get your water, obviously. No, that's a joke, just in case it's not clear, my silly humor. All right. Double front doors, original, 1970s era. They have a lot of character. Again, the paint on the exterior looks in very good condition. The inside of the home, you walk into this big family room, living room area, whatever you want to call it exactly, but the biggest living areas where you enter. You've got 18-inch Spanish-style tiles with these decorative little, I think they're 2-inch squares set at a 90-degree angle. They're very cute. If you like the Spanish style, it's really nice. These wood beams, just tons of character. I'm actually surprised no one has swooped in on it. I'm kind of curious what their offer history is. They have a set-in wet bar with a little fridge here mounted in the wall. It's cute. They've got it set up for margaritas. They really kind of ran with the Spanish, Western, and Western style. I kind of like these tiles myself. It gets character. The fireplace is, again, tons of character. Has been painted. I would wonder if you could strip that paint if you wanted that original stone. I guess where there's a will, there's a way. I'm curious how hard it would be. Or maybe you just stick with the paint because it looks kind of nice. I like the jukebox. Wish that would stay. That's kind of cool. So the kitchen and the other living area are up here. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the laundry room you would ask me about right here. So the doors in front of me are like a pantry area, like for brooms or jackets, stuff like that. Little storage zone. And then to the right of me is the little teeny tiny microscopic sized laundry room. Here it is in all of its glory. You got a stacked washer and dryer, and then you've got a pedestal sink over here, which is kind of handy if you got to get stains out of your clothes or whatnot. What I would do, and here's a door to the outside, leading to the backyard, and that looks like the neighbor's house. So I'm guessing your garage is back over this way. I haven't gone outside yet to explore the backyard. What I would do would be right here, where you got this arch here, right, and then this back door. You got that cabinet there. I would put a door here across. So you have a pass-through laundry rooms. You would walk through the laundry room to the outside, but then I would remove that and maybe this little portion of a wall with the painting on it so that this is one in that little part above the door there. So you'd have an open area here where then you could certainly put in a proper size washer and dryer if you didn't want to go with the stackable because it just didn't suit your needs. So I think it is definitely doable. Another thing is you could probably put a dryer here and a washer over here. With a big one, you'd probably be pretty darn tight in between them. I'm not sure how the doors opening and such would work. That might be too tight. So I think going this way makes the most sense with the door right here. And I think if you did it right, nobody would even know it wasn't original. I think it'd blend right in. So back there at the front door, if we were to turn this direction where my finger's pointing, which would be my right, but you would get up to a living room, family room type area. Or you can access the kitchen through here. I'm going to go up this way just because I happen to be here. So, up the stairs to the kitchen. So you have to use stairs to go to the kitchen. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to the kitchen. If you can't go up and down 5 steps, effectively, I don't know how you would live here. So you have to be able to do 5 steps. Bear that in mind. You have Corian countertops, which are in fine condition, but they're not modern. They're not what's the trendy, cutting edge thing. You have that tile backsplash. Again, that's original to the home. I think it's got tons of character. I would hold on to that tile backsplash and maybe like put a nice granite that kind of kept that Western flavor, the Mexican Western flavor. That's me. I mean, teach their own. That's what I would do. Nice stainless steel appliances. Fridge, nice fridge. Let's see if that conveys. I actually didn't look. No, fridge does not convey. Okay, ignore the fridge. The kitchen is not big. They're kind of original oak type cabinets, but not a big kitchen. I'm going to step over here so you can see the whole thing all at once. It's functional. I mean, it's big enough for some people. It depends on, the person, but it's definitely not big. It's not teeny tiny, but it's not big. Beamed ceiling adds character. I like it. I'm curious to know, again, if you were to like strip the paint off those horizontal pieces, if you could stain them, I don't know. But with white walls, like a stained ceiling might add a little bit of character to it. Dining area and then family room. Like realistically, when the two of you guys are home, just you guys, I would assume that like that family room, living room area, this dining room, and this kitchen is where you're going to spend the great majority of your waking hours. And that big room you'd save for like when the kids visit and whatnot. Me personally, I would change out the window coverings. Not that there's anything wrong with them. In fact, the blinds underneath might be fine. But to me, the drapes make it feel a little bit more old-fashioned, or like the valances in the kitchen. Again, very personal preference, that to each their own. Overall, though, I love the style. It's definitely unique. You're not going to find anything like it. You mentioned a basement. I have not found access to a basement. I am speculating that this is up, 5 sets of steps. That underneath this portion of the home, because that's a slab, there's no basement under that for sure. Under this portion of the home, I might find an access point outside. That would be my guess. All bedrooms and 1 bathroom are up this flight of stairs. Over there is the 1-car garage. And to the side of the 1-car garage is the other bathroom. And to the other side, that way, is the little like cubby office. Remember like a mud room? Probably you could put a bench there to take your boots off, that kind of thing. Okay, we're going to check out upstairs while we're here. So no proper master bathroom to speak of. This is a cute little niche. I assume they're Catholic, or they have the just the style. It's cool. I like it. Big bedroom. You've got. I'm gonna eyeball this at 18 feet deep by 24 feet that way. Would be maybe not 24. Maybe let's say 18 by 22. Be a little safer. But it's a good size, my point. It's a good size bedroom. They have this gigantic king size bed and a big nightstand. It doesn't feel crowded. No walk-in closet because of the age of the house. Although who's that handsome guy in the mirror there? There is a large rolling door closet though. And from up here, let's see. I haven't looked out this window. Okay, there's your detached garage over there. You can see more of the tile roof. You can see there's some neighbors around. All this natural foliage. So I'll touch on that a little bit. You got lots of oak trees here, which I'm fond of. And then you've got some elm trees, which are okay, but they can get a little crazy. Sometimes you got to trim them back, like if they send out shoots. Some manzanita. bushes, some scrub oak bushes, pinyon pines right there. I mean, I really like the natural foliage. I think to me, that's like classic Prescott, like from Prescott is when I was a kid before they started building subdivisions and stuff. Okay, the upstairs bathroom is actually a pretty good sized bathroom. I'll flip a light on. It has like a makeup application area here with a mirror and a light. And then over here is your sink vanity. That I would probably upgrade, or almost I would certainly upgrade it myself. I don't mind the tile necessarily. It's very dated, but it kind of still has that vintage look, which sometimes I like. I don't like the fact that it's only 30 inches tall and not 36. So I would go with like a super nice kind of Western vanity of some sort with dual sinks and 36 inches high so that you're not bending over to brush your teeth and whatnot. The toilet and shower tub are in a room with a pocket door. So there is some additional privacy there which is nice to have. I'm sure at the time that was probably like a real upgraded toilet, but it is not new. It's an older one. And then the shower has that same tile that the vanity out here has. It reminds me of my grandma's house, which is much older than this house. This is a 73. Okay. Definitely has that me growing up as a kid feel to the tile. It's in good shape. I mean, nothing has been maintained. It doesn't need to be changed unless you just, don't like the style of it. And that's, again, personal choice. The carpeting, let me say that. The carpeting up here, it goes up the stairs. It's in that family room over there too. I would ditch the carpeting. It is well used. And I would put in like a rustic wood floor probably that kind of, again, went with that Western / kind of Mexican theme. I think that would be cool. Here's the two, what I would call guest bedrooms. The first one is quite small. That's probably a full bed. And it is, as you can see, it takes up most of the room. So this could be like maybe a nice office. Maybe you open up that window and get some light in, and it's a nice office, but it is not a big bedroom. On the other hand, this next room is quite large. So this is, I think, the same size as the master bedroom, where you have several closets here. Again, probably, I'm going to say, maybe it's a little bit smaller. Maybe it's only 16 feet from the door to that wall. And then, 20 feet wide, I think, on this one, maybe. Yeah, this one's not quite as wide. So, but still, for a guest bedroom, it's way bigger than your typical guest bedroom. And I just noticed we can look at that garage roof from here. That is good because you're always suspicious about the flat roofs. From my educated, or let me say semi-educated opinion, is that it looks to be in pretty good shape. I do see an area in that corner that's got a little bubble to it, but it does not look worrisome, and it's got a nice slope to actually direct water. Some of them have a very slight slope, so that is a positive to me. It doesn't scare me like I thought it might. All right, gonna hit the downstairs, and I'm probably gonna turn this video off and make a second video for the outside backyard. It does not smell bad in here, by the way, but it does smell like candles, and they have lots of candles. Personally, I'm not a candle-smelling person. I like just like a neutral smell, but, it's not like dogs. It's not like cigarettes. It's not like, dirty socks or something. It's like, it's clean. It just smells really strongly of scented candles. So their office, it could be an office. To me, it'd be like a little mud room where you put a bench and like hang your coats and stuff. And then the downstairs bathroom, which is kind of nicely removed from the living room and kitchen, so there's like some degree of privacy. Good size walk-in shower. It's not small. Again, that cool, dated but cool tile. To me, it's dated in a good way. Little arches, little architectural elements that pop out here and there. Nice toilet. This one actually looks newer than the upstairs toilet. The garage, this is the one car. I measured it, and the exact measurements are in an email. I'm going to respond to your email when I get a second. But it is kind of a standard width for a one car, but it's pretty deep. It's almost 23 feet deep. I could not get this door behind me to open. Oh, it doesn't have a garage door opener. Duh. That's why. There's no garage door opener on this. So I didn't measure. I can measure the height of the door, but that's irrelevant. What we need to know is the height of that door frame, because that's what your truck or whatever is going to have to fit through. But I will measure the door size on the 3 car when I get to it. So anyway, that's the inside of the home. I think it's got a lot of positives. For an older home, it has like obviously been lovingly taken care of and maintained. This house is over 50 years old, and it's been better maintained than some houses I see that are 10 years old for sure. So I hope that helps, and I'll get you a second video for the outside garage. Thanks. Bye.